Another day, another business. Today we are at Interstreet Laser CNC Factory. They're manufacturers of light industrial consumer goods. Wondering what that means? That is a lot of words to digest. But we're going to be learning about it in a minute. My name is Success Kamlis. Welcome to SME Hub.
My name is Azuka Ijekeye, and our business is known as Interstreet Laser CNC Factory. We are manufacturers of light industrial consumer goods that go across the uses in the home and industrial uses. So in industry, you have heavy manufacturing, you have light manufacturing. Light industrial manufacturing is that segment of manufacturing that concentrates more on the making of goods for consumers, things that make everyday life, usually non-food. So all of the things that give meaning to our life, like clothes, shoes, wristwatches, laptops, all the materials that are used, the goods, products, that's where light industrial manufacturing comes in. And you can have direct-to-consumer goods, and then you can have business-to-business goods. In Interstreet Laser CNC, we have done both. For the business-to-business, we do point-of-sale items, things that brands use to support their sales and marketing activities. All those point-of-sale items can be made from different materials. And then you have the consumer goods, where you have things like flush doors, things like display items, gift items, and a few machines that are used for home use. So you have furniture also. So light industrial manufacturing is just focusing on consumer goods. My father was a horticulturist, and I worked with him tending the grounds for the National Arts Theatre. That's where I cut my teeth in entrepreneurship, and that was before university. And then through university, I've always liked products and making things. So I got into making shirts for my bar because I schooled in Owerri, and I came to Lagos to sell them. So after university, it was just natural that just before NYSC, I started my business, and it was basically making apparels. So clothes, I had tailors, I had a small tailoring factory. And that's where all of this started. I eventually had to go and work because one of my clients felt that I needed corporate knowledge. And that's how I got into working for DG Prints, which is a large format printing company. From there, I got to know about retail marketing, advertising, and then the products to sell. So by the time I finished working, I came back and then set up a factory, and I was determined to provide retail marketing services. And that's how we got into products, because we make display stands, gondola ends, pop-up displays, experiential stands. And all of that has led to now having our own products, because all products are made almost the same way, from ideation, concept, industrial design. It's the same process. And personally, I believe that we must make the things that we need, the things that we use. And that's how we've gone into having our own consumer brand, which is the Zuki consumer brand. So we make Zuki doors, we make Zuki furniture, dining tables, chairs, settees, and all of that. So that's how I got here. Our business is not a very young business. We were set up in 2006, but of course before then, I had been doing business. Started business in 1999, but got incorporated in 2006. We have gone from a small 2-staff organization to a point where we had 22 people. But because of the economy, COVID and stuff, we've trimmed down again to about 8-9 people. But we keep going. It's been a fantastic journey. Running a business in Nigeria, especially in manufacturing, is not for the faint-hearted. You really need to know what you're doing, know what you're offering, and then you'll be able to stay the course. It's time-consuming. There's nothing like you are your own boss. Your customer is your boss. So you actually have no time. Challenges abound and opportunities abound. So let's talk about the challenges first. Personally, my biggest challenge has always been getting competent workforce. The fact is that our educational system does not provide human resource ready graduates for industry. So the biggest challenge we have, especially in a place like this, is the workforce. We need industrial designers. I'm not aware there's any university in Nigeria that offers industrial design for what industrial design really is. Some say they do offer it, but when you dig deep, you find out that they are doing ceramics, they're doing sculpting, and they call that industrial design. No, industrial design is actually designed for industry. So the person must understand, it's probably a cross between an artist and an engineer to be able to design for industry. So human resource, getting the right affordable human resource is the biggest challenge. The second challenge would be a lack of variety of materials and the production technology to handle them. Now this is wide. All the materials that you use to make products come from abroad. Yes, we don't import directly, but you have to go to the market and you're dependent on traders who have to import their materials, be it plywood, HDF, which is high density fiber, MDF, medium density, be it composite, be it metacrylate, all those sheets, be it steel, stainless, or any of them. So we have to depend on that. We need to get ourselves into that area where we're making materials that industry consumes. And then of course, if I don't mention finance, it will be like I don't live in Nigeria. So finance is access to finance, access to affordable finance. There is finance available, the microfinance banks and other systems. However, you need to be able to get affordable finance, which usually should come from the commercial banks. But it's a big problem because banks will still ask for landed collateral. It's a marvel to me that up till now, movable assets are not acceptable as collateral. Machines, you can have, for example, here we have CNC machines, laser and router, we have plasma cutters and all that. But I can't put them up to any bank as assets so that I can source funds and expand the business. So access to finance is a challenge. And then we have the challenge of affordable power. Everybody will tell you that you solve NEPA power supply, or is it PHCN now, that you solve half of Nigeria's problems. While that might not be completely true, we need power. While that issue of public power supply being the biggest hindrance might not be totally 100% true, it is good to have. I mean, we really need to have power coming from the public mains because it's cheaper, it's more stable. Right now, us and most businesses provide our power. We must do diesel at, what's the current rate? 267 naira per litre, and you're running 100 litres or thereabouts a day to do manufacturing. So power is a problem, and if we could solve that problem from the national grid, that would help. Manufacturing in Interstreet process is something that we think of, and there is a way to it, there's a pattern to it. To make a product, you go from having the idea first. That idea must be put down as a sketch or something that people can see and relate to. Now, usually one idea will not work to give you the solution. So if you want to make a product to merchandise something within a store, maybe perfumes, and you have a space area of not more than 200 centimeters by 200 centimeters to do your display, and a height restriction of say 1,500 millimeters. The truth is, the ideas will come. You have a discussion, so someone has to do the ideation and do the sketching of all those ideas, and then the ideas are now whittled down to the one that is most practical, meets all the objectives, including the cost objectives. And then we go from that ideation to prototyping. A prototype is a miniature size of the actual product. So all dimensions are done and scaled down maybe to a scale of 10 or something like that. You go from prototyping to the main production process, where you now have production drawings. In the production drawing stage, all the elements, all the specifications, people don't realize that a product looks exactly how it is because there are specifications. Every inch, let's go to metric, every millimeter, every corner, every radius is measured precisely. And that's why when you make 1,000 things, they all look the same. So in that process, industrial design comes in, or production engineer comes in and does all of the production files for each component that makes the product. Then we go from the production design into the actual production, which is now where, again, you have a whole range of processes. Depending on the product you're making, depending on the substrate you're using, if it's plastic, if it is rubber, if it is wood, if it is metal, that determines the production system that is going to be employed. So you can have metal, there's going to be a lot of welding, there's going to be grinding, surfacing, drilling and all that. If we're doing something using plastic, we'll probably be using the laser cutter to cut the parts and maybe the CNC router. If it's furniture, wooden furniture, you go to the CNC router and then you probably need to get carpentry into the process. So it's a whole range of processes that come in during the production process, all determined by the design of that product. Of course, by the time you finish the production process, then you need to go into assembly. In assembly, you put all the parts together using all kinds of fixation systems, be they glues, be they bolts and nuts, be they adhesive tapes, whatever system is required to put them together, you do that in assembly. And sometimes you have assembly before finishing. Sometimes you have finishing before assembly. Procurement is the backbone on which manufacturing happens. We have a variety of materials we have to use. It goes down to knowing where those materials are, getting them at the right price, and being able to get them on time for whatever it is we want to make. So where we have a project, we might, let me talk about a few materials. There are a lot of wood-based products, or rather inputs, that we use in making our doors. So we have to use plywood, HDF, MDF, and solid wood. Most of that is procured locally. We get from the market in Mushin, and we have some suppliers who deliver to us, and we have other times when we have to go to those suppliers to buy those. The thickness of materials, especially HDF, plywood, MDF, that we use most is about 18 mm. Now, here's the thing, and here's the thing about Nigeria. We seem to always fail when it comes to keeping specifications. When I started this business, all of the boards, MDF, HDF, plywood, used to be 18 millimeters thick. Today in the market, most, if not all of them, are averaging 15 millimeters thick. Now, if you bring that back to design, where you are considering the strength of the material and you need a particular thickness to achieve certain things, we're shooting ourselves in the foot. The Standard Organization of Nigeria is supposed to guarantee that a material that on the cover says 18 mm thick shouldn't be 15 mm thick. That's 3 millimeters less. What that now means is that the industrial designer who is designing using global standard specifications has to compensate for that 3 millimeters. It's a problem we have. We're having to redesign using the standard of what is available in the market. Why are the importers reducing that? Of course, it all comes down to margin and all that. But we should have the regulatory agencies that ensure that if a material is quoted as 18 mm, it should come as 18 mm. We have the same problem with metal sheets. A metal sheet is supposed to be 1.2 millimeters thick, and you're supposed to use it for a particular purpose. And then you go to the market, you order that material, it gets to the factory, and it's 1 millimeter thick. It's either you're going to return it and insist, if you're lucky to find the 1.2 that you require, and of course at a much higher cost, or you have to now redesign what you've already finished designing because you expect that a 1.2 material should be available. So procurement as a system is tough enough when things are normal. It is even tougher now that the specifications are not guaranteed. You know, there's a lot of cutting corners in the market. How do we provide satisfaction to our customers? Again, everything comes from design. The truth is, Nigeria is where we are today because of our limited understanding of what design is and what design does. I can talk for a year on design, but everything we have in our society today is the way it is because of poor design. Our roads, our cities, made in Nigeria products that people complain about, it's all because the design ab initio is not well thought out. And like I said at the beginning, industrial design is it. That is design for industry. So we guarantee that our products give customer satisfaction because we start from a design perspective. And we design to fit the production systems that we have available here. We're not going to design some esoteric thing that we need to go to Japan to go manufacture, because this is where we get the materials. The reality is that there's a culture of the people here. We must design to fit their culture. If you design out of the blue, the product is not going to connect to the consumer. But when you design, bearing in mind the lifestyle of the people, and your product fits into the lifestyle they already know, it is bound to be a successful product. So we do that, produce to the highest level we can, try to focus on detail, continuous training, continuous monitoring, continuous evaluation is key to keeping things going. But because we also have the help of CNC and precision cutting, then our production is consistent and our products meet those standards. To make us visible in the marketplace, we have followed the trend of the new age, the digital age. So there's quite a bit we do online, using social media, using a few online market platforms. I can't give them free advertising now, but that works. You know, we have a lot of customers who have come to us In fact, one of our biggest customers actually found us without us doing any sponsored ad on Google. They really needed the service, and they needed to search and search and search, and found us, and that gave us that knowledge that we really needed to be doing a lot of our visibility online. We're not there yet, and we're still pushing that. We also attend a lot of trade shows. We were at the last Lagos International Trade Fair, where our doors turned out to be the rave of the fair, because people could not actually believe that those doors were designed and manufactured in Nigeria. Again, that's one of the things we do, trade shows. We have a few marketers who go out, but really now with COVID, that's limited. But our biggest plus is word of mouth. So one satisfied customer refers to another customer, and that keeps going. So we're very particular about how the customer feels about what we do, because again, you never get a second chance to make a right impression. Yes, we've had a few misses. I mean, it would be a lie to say we've satisfied every customer from day one. Some things can go wrong. You can have a machine breakdown, you miss on a delivery, you can have during the production system process an error on a part, and then you have to check cost and all of that. So yeah, we've had a few misses, but over an average, I think we have satisfied customers, and what they do for us is that they tell other people. And then what we do is special. What we do is not many people do what we do. In deploying our CNC systems, we can do quite a lot of things. So we do swimming pool screens because we can cut motifs on them. We do false ceilings because we can route something on it and the light can pass through it. We do space dividers, and then we do furniture, and then we do doors. It's all down to understanding the capability of your production system and designing to fit that. So a lot of customers come back to us because we take it bespoke. They come to us today, they want to cut acrylic. They can come to us tomorrow and they want to cut textile. But because we know how to use the production systems across the various materials, we tend to deliver, and they always say, go and ask Interstreet. They would likely know how you want to achieve what you want to achieve. I live online, and I live online as Azuka Ijekeye. That's AZUKAIJEKEYE. So that's Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. On Instagram, no, not on Instagram, on Twitter specifically, you will find me as industrial activist, even though it's still Azuki JK. And that's because I talk industry. To reach Interstreet, we're located in Ogba, Lagos. We're on Thomas Salako Street, number 20. You can find us online at www.interstreetmessenger.com. That's the name of the parent company, interstreetmessenger.com. And our lines, of course, as the Chief Marketing Officer, you reach my line directly, 0809-422-5501 and 0803-304-6656. Thank you.
consumer goods that make life worth living, Interstreet has got you covered. I hope you have jotted a thing or two down because it is sure to help you. With that, we have come to the end of today's episode. Make sure to follow iBrandTV on all social media platforms for more informative and entertaining content. We are live on YouTube. Make sure to be subscribed to the YouTube platform. My name is Success Cameras. Until I come your way next time, keep your business moving.